Today we are going to be getting better at multiplying hundreds, tens and units by tens and units using long multiplication. Take a look at this example. What have I done to get this answer? Take 10 seconds to think.
And then what do we need next? An example of what
Yes, that's right. Begin by first lining up the multiplication in the correct columns. The units, below the units, tens, below the tens, and the hundreds. Then you draw your answer box. Begin by multiplying the units by the units. This gives us the answer 24, the 4 in the units column, the two tens regrouped into the tens column. Then tens multiplied by the units. This gives us the answer 12, but we need to remember to add the regrouped tens. So the answer is 14 tens, the 4 on the line, and regroup the hundreds. Then 100 times 6 equals 6 hundreds. Add the regrouped 100, put the answer of 7 hundreds on the line. Now we need to multiply the tens of the bottom number. So begin again on the right with the 4 units. Multiply 4 units by 2 tens. This gives us the answer of 8 tens. Remember to add a placeholder because there were no units in this answer. Again, we need to times 2 tens by 2 tens. This gives us 4 hundreds, and the answer goes in the hundreds column. Next, we need to multiply 100 by the 2 tens. This gives us 2 thousands, and we write the answer in the thousands column. Then you need to draw your answer box. We must now add the 2 answers to our multiplication. Again, we begin on the right. The 4 units add no units equals 4 units. 4 tens add 8 tens equals 12 tens, so we regroup the 100 under the line. 7 hundreds add 4 hundreds gives us 11 hundreds, so we need to remember to add the regrouped 100, which is actually 12. So 2 hundreds in the answer box, regroup the 1000. Now we have 2 thousands plus the 1 regrouped 1000, which gives us 3000, leaving the answer 3224. Now let's take a look at it alongside the success criteria. Begin by lining the digits up in the correct columns. Multiply the units by the units. Multiply the tens by the units. Multiply the hundreds by the units. On the line below, multiply the units by the tens. Multiply the tens by the tens. Multiply the hundreds by the tens. Now add the 2 answers together. 4 units add no units is 4 units. 4 tens add 8 tens is 12 tens, regroup the 100. 7 hundreds add 4 hundreds plus the 1 regrouped is 12 hundreds, regroup the 1000. 2000 add the regrouped 1000 is 3000, so the answer is 3224. Take a look at this question. First, we must line the digits up in the correct columns.
52 times by 24. And all I'm going to do is do it to make sure I can do it.
The units below the units, the tens below the tens, and the hundreds. Now we must multiply the units by the units. So 4 units times 3 units. Next, the tens by the units. 2 tens times 3 units. Plus the regrouped one, which is 7. Now multiply the hundreds by the units. 100 times 3 units, which is 300. Next, on the line below, multiply the units by the tens. So 4 tens multiplied by 1 unit gives us 4 tens, which we write in the tens column. However, we cannot leave the units column empty, so we must add a placeholder here. Next, multiply the tens by the tens. This gives us 200. Now, multiply the hundreds by the tens. This gives us 1000. Finally, we must add the two answers together. Two units add no units gives us 2 units. 7 tens add 4 tens gives us 11 tens. Regroup the 100 below the line. 3 hundreds add 2 hundreds plus the 1 regrouped gives us 6 hundreds. No thousands add 1000 gives us 1000. The final answer is 1612. Take a look at these two examples, one in pink, one in blue. One of them is correct, one of them is not. Have a think for a moment. Can you work out which is the correct one? Yes, that's correct. The one in pink is correct. The one in blue is not. As you can see, both multiplications have lined the digits up in the correct columns. They both have multiplied the units by the units, multiplied the tens by the units, and multiplied the hundreds by the units. However, on the line below, they have both multiplied the units by the tens. However, with the answer of 4 tens, the blue one has written this in the units column. This is not correct. 4 units by 1 10 makes 4 tens. Therefore, it must go in the tens column. Because the units column would be left empty, we must add a placeholder. Because of this mistake, you can see that the blue one is now adding 896 to 224 instead of the correct answer, which was 896 added to 2240. It is 1 place smaller. This means the final answer is incorrect. This one is correct. Now you have a go. 216 multiplied by 15. Remember to use the success criteria. Pause this video and complete on your whiteboard. Well done. Let's check your answer. So first, line the digits up in the correct columns. Then multiply the units by the units. Then multiply the tens by the units. Add the regrouped tens. Then multiply the hundreds by the units. Remembering to regroup thousands. Then, on the line below, multiply the units by the tens.
Did you do it? Could you manage it?
That gives us 6 tens. Remember to add a placeholder in the units column as we cannot leave it empty. Next, multiply the tens by the tens. This gives us 100. Then multiply the hundreds by the tens. This gives us 2000s. The final step is to add the two answers together. There, the multiplication is complete and your answer should have been 3,240. Remember to write your answer back at the end of the question. Here are 5 questions. Have a go on your own using success criteria to help you. Good luck!